Hello, everyone. My name is Leanne Kelch. On behalf of our team at the Goldhirsch Foundation, I'm so excited to welcome you to today's My LA2050 Ideas Showcase. The My LA2050 Grants Challenge is an open call for ideas to make LA the best place to live, learn, play, create, and connect. This year, our 7th Grants Challenge, we received 285 submissions, and with the help of Social Venture Partners Los Angeles, we narrowed the pool to our top 25. Today, we'll hear from the top 5 finalists in the Learn category. The Learn category encompasses learning at all ages, from birth to college and beyond. This category and its metrics represent our vision that by the year 2050, all LA families will have access to high-quality early education programs. Every high school student will graduate college and career ready, and all parents and caretakers will be empowered to direct their children's learning. Our local education system will be equitable, inclusive, and responsive. Each of our Learn finalists today will share about their organizations and their My LA 2050 proposals. They'll then take time at the end to answer audience questions. If anyone joining us today has questions for our finalists, we invite you to use the chat function on your screen to share. Once we're done, please, we encourage you all to go to challenge.la2050.org and cast your votes. Remember, your votes determine the final grants that these organizations will receive. Our host today had strategic partnerships at Good Worldwide, Inc. Please join me in welcoming Paul Dean.
Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for the kind intro. My name is Paul Dean. I work at Good and Upworthy, where we love to share positive and uplifting stories and the best in humanity. So I can't wait to welcome the LA 2050 finalists pitch for the Learn Goal category. Today, you'll hear from 5 organizations that are finalists in the My LA 2050 Challenge. These organizations include Caracen, the LA Audubon Society, the SoCal College Access Network, the Pediatric Therapy Network, and the Reading Partners. Just so everyone knows, you can use the chat function to ask questions that we'll get at to the end. So without further ado, here's our first presenter.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, I'd love to welcome Roberto Saravia from Caracen. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good. Happy Tuesday. Do you want to just tell everyone very quickly about the organization, and then we'll jump into the pitch?
Sure. So Caracen, also known as the Central American Resource Center, is the largest Central American immigrant rights nonprofit in the United States. It's been around since 1983, providing legal services, organizational services to the community, and advocacy, and policy and advocacy work as well. So yeah, we've been around for a really long time and big supporters of the immigrant community.
That's amazing. And so off to you, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. So I've been with Caracen for about 3 years, and most of my work is with the Parent and Youth Center, which is why we're here today. Our organization has always been led by the community. So in this case, the Parent and Youth Center was formed by parents and youth. It was a lot of effort. But the great thing about the work at a Parent and Youth Center is that it's a two-pronged approach. We teach leadership and education skills to parents so that they can advocate for their kids and be better informed about how the LAUSD system works. And then with our youth, we provide them leadership skills so that they can advocate for themselves. On top of that, we also have a College Head Start program within that same youth program. So we give them all the skills and tools that they'll need in order to live life like in a post-secondary education, so that way they can go on to college, any trade or technical school, and be as best informed as they possibly can. We provide financial aid services. We help them fill out scholarships, And the amazing thing is we've had a lot of these kids apply to MIT, Stanford, Harvard, UCLA, CSUN, and we've had a great success rate. And a lot of these kids come back to us and help out with the organization and empower other youth that are also in the same process. So what we want to do, hopefully, if we get a vote from you all, is that we can continue to do this amazing work, expand it, incorporate more kids, and more programs and services that are critical to the economic and educational success of youth and their families. So we really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us and hear about our organization and the work that we do, and specifically with our Parent and Youth Center. So thank you so much for that. And hoping to answer any questions that you all have, and looking forward to the results. And I wish the other finalists luck as well. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Roberto. That's amazing. And thank you for everything you do for your organization. So now let's bring up Stacy Vigilon from the LA2050 Society. Hi, Stacy. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Great.
I can hear you. How's everything going today?
Going well. Beautiful day out today.
Awesome. Do you want to just tell everyone quickly what you do with your organization, and then we'll jump into the pitch?
Sure. So I am Director of Environmental Education for Los Angeles Audubon, and we have been around for over 100 years. And our mission is to promote the study and protections of birds, other wildlife, and habitats throughout LA. And we really want to get the community involved too through education, conservation, and stewardship.
Awesome. Well, good luck, and we'll let you take it from here.
Great. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see our wonderful students at work. All right. So we think that LA's diverse habitats and communities make this city a really great place to learn. And we believe that access to nature and learning opportunities is an equity issue. So not all communities in LA have the same level of access to green space or access to learning opportunities. So this is why we're hoping that you will support our LA2050 project, which is the Urban Nature Network. So through the Urban Nature Network, our goal is to empower youth from elementary school through their early professional years to become environmental stewards in their communities through hands-on project-based learning. So for over a decade, LA Audubon has been leading education programs for youth from LA's urban core, many of whom come from under-resourced communities. The network serves more than 5,000 students each year at schoolyard habitats, after-school programs, and science-based field trips. We are really proud of the fact that most of our staff started with us as high school and college students, and now as early career professionals, they're working with us to motivate a whole new generation of environmental stewards. Their work is crucial to ensuring that nature is accessible to all urban residents in LA. And we believe strongly that students can take a very active role in problem solving within the community. So our high school and college students in our paid internships, they engage directly in real world projects. They interact with environmental professionals, they write curricula and teach younger students, and they publicly present their research findings. We assist them with the college application process and with career planning. So we believe that engaging youth, especially from some of our underrepresented communities, is a key component to achieving long-term conservation success, innovative solutions, and a vibrant city. And I think it's important to address how we're adapting these very hands-on things to the whole COVID-19 uncertainty. So in a crisis, access to nature is extremely important for mental and physical health, more than ever. And with school closures, access to learning opportunities in a variety of formats is now also extremely important. So we plan to expand our online learning programs in the coming school year to promote a connection to nature at school, at home, and in neighborhoods. Returning to the idea of youth as problem solvers, we will be working with our team of student advisors, that are made up of high school and college students, to get their input on programming and ideas for how we can adapt for the coming school year. And we will be designing internship projects that remain project-based. So students will be able to collect data at home and get online guidance from our staff. And as schools do begin to reopen, we anticipate that the outdoor spaces on campuses are going to become essential learning spaces. And we're going to be ready with LA Audubon on campus as an alternative to some of our field trips where staff are actually going to go to the schools. So we want to be there for nature and for our LA communities. And so we're hoping you support LA Audubon's project, the Urban Nature Network. So I'm going to stop sharing.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy, for all the incredible work you guys do. That was an awesome pitch. Next up, we have from the SoCal College Access Network, Maria Perez. Hey,
Hi.
Maria.
How are you?
Maria.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Beautiful day.
Yeah. What part of LA are you in?
So we work in South LA region and East LA. So, I'm basically in the greater LA area. Yeah.
Awesome. And do you want to just quickly tell everyone about your organization, and then we'll jump into
Sure.
the pitch?
Sure. So SoCal Can was founded in 2005, and it's basically 70 organizations coming together to promote a college-going culture in Southern California. And so, it's just a group of 70 college access organizations coming together to learn, collaborate, and advocate.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm an education program specialist, and I'm part of the Project SOAR program.
Awesome. Well, good luck on your pitch, and we can't wait to hear about what you guys are doing.
Thank you. So thank you so much to LA2050 for having the opportunity to pitch Project SOAR in the finals under the learning category as an extension of SoCal Can's commitment to increase the rate at which low-income first-generation students of color access and attend college. Project SOAR provides comprehensive college access counseling to students and families living in public housing sites across the Los Angeles region. And so working and growing up in public housing myself, I realized that some students can't imagine a life different than the one that they've experienced, through themselves or through their parents' lives. So that includes poverty, addiction, conformity, unemployment. And I've come to recognize that as an education navigator myself, my job is not only to ensure that students are applying and persisting in college, but also that I wear many hats, that sometimes I'm a college advisor, high school counselor, sometimes I'm a tutor, and sometimes I'm a friend. And so the beautiful thing about the drop-in model is that it allows us to build these types of relationships with our students, where we meet them where they're at. And I see the impact that SOAR has on our students every single day that I go to work, but especially when students are making those pivotal decisions. So just to give you an idea, I remember a conversation that I had recently with one of my coworkers, where she personally had to sit down and talk to a family numerous times, to convince them to take out $2,000 in loans so that their student could attend UCLA, and explain the whole financial aid process. And so many people cannot fathom the idea of debating to take out 2 loans to attend UCLA. But when your parents only make a little bit above $10,000 a year, and $2,000 is about 20% of what your parents' income is, then it gives us a whole different perspective, right? Another example that I can think about is of how we prevented a student from becoming victim of enrolling into a predatory for-profit college and taking out $24,000 in loans. But we instead talked to him and guided him into enrolling into community college. And so that student is now actually in his 2nd year, and he has plans to transfer into a 4-year this upcoming year. And now more than ever, low-income and first-generation college students need additional support as they navigate not only their path to and through college, but also stay on track and connected during these challenging times. And so Project SOAR exists to break down these barriers and then access and bridge gaps for student support year round. So please, please, please vote for Southern California College Access Plan network so that Project SOAR can continue to provide vital college and counseling services to public housing residents across the Los Angeles area.
Thank you so much, Maria. That was a great pitch. And thank you for everything you do for giving kids the access to learning that they can dream about, a college education. That's awesome. I want to bring up next Terry Nishimura from the Pediatric Therapy Network.
Hello.
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Great, thank you so much.
Where are you guys based in LA?
We're down in the South Bay and Long Beach area, so Southern LA County.
Great. And do you want to just give everyone a quick overview of the organization, and we'll jump into the pitch after that?
Great, thank you so much. Well, PTN will be celebrating our 24th anniversary this year. We are a nonprofit children's therapy and early child development center. We have a staff of about 200, 70 of them are therapists, and we provide occupational, physical, speech therapy, early intervention, Early Start Denver model, social skills, community integration. We have an early Head Start program, and we also have a summer day camp. We're also a training center. So we have trained therapists from all over the world in our 24 years of history. Pediatric therapists from all over the colleges in the United States come and train at PTN. So, and we also support research. So that we had many years ago has come true of a research, education, and treatment center. So awesome. Should we just go ahead and share?
Yeah, Terry. Well, thank you so much for that overview, and good luck on the pitch.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you, LA2050. Pediatric Therapy Network believes that learning starts at birth, and PTN's program is called Best We Can Be Early Education Program. We believe that being the best we can be happens not just through early education programs, but also through early identification and early intervention too. And our goal is to establish a solid foundation for each child's growth and development. In line with LA2050's goals, PTN's mission is to lead the way in helping children, families, communities reach their full capabilities through innovative therapy, research, and education programs. We believe that every child, regardless of their socioeconomic status or diagnosis, can achieve their full potential. I'd like to share a quick story of a family that we worked with. We are overwhelmed with gratitude. Emma has made an incredible amount of progress in such a short amount of time. And we credit this to her dedicated therapists and teachers. We have seen it work wonders thanks to early intervention. We knew our daughter at a young age, there was a better chance of her growing out of her developmental delays. Thank you, Pediatric Therapy Network. You have changed Emma's life and ours. And then here's some interesting statistics that illustrate the great need for programs like PTN's Best We Can Be. 1 in 4 babies born in California will be at risk for developmental, behavioral, or social emotional delay. That's 150,000 young children in LA County that are at risk. Children who are economically disadvantaged, particularly children of color, have a higher prevalence of developmental concerns and are more likely to lack access to or have a delay in receiving quality early education, early intervention, or therapy. If we look at the research, we know that the first 5 years are the most critical years for early brain development, that in a developing brain, thousands of neuronal connections are made every second. And during this time of rapid brain development, environmental experiences can help shape and develop the brain. The young brain is also very plastic, meaning it can change and adapt in an enriched environment. So this means earlier is better. And our goal is to expand access to early education and early intervention for children and families throughout LA County. These efforts will change the trajectory of so many children's and families' lives. Funding will be used to support our highly qualified therapists and teachers, continue parent outreach and trainings, and to purchase specialized equipment and supplies. And with COVID-19, our commitment to providing continuity of care, PTN developed robust telehealth, with our staff of 200 trained on how to provide services remotely. We will build on lessons learned and use technology to better serve families. So please help us expand our reach to young children and their families. Go to LA2050's Learn category. Please support Pediatric Therapy Network Best We Can Be education program. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Terry. That was great. And once again, thank you for everything your organization does to support the development of young kids in LA. So great pitch, and thank you once again. We're going to move quickly to our next pitch. It's with Laura Zacher from Reading Partners. Hey, Laura.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
I'm
Good.
doing.
How are you doing?
Well. I'm doing what best I can right now. How are you?
Same. Depends on the day.
Correct.
Do you want to just give a brief overview of Reading Partners and what you guys do?
Sure. So Reading Partners is a national nonprofit literacy organization. We are a tier 2 model that works with kindergarten through 4th grade students that are struggling with reading. And the way we do that is that we pair them with community volunteers who follow a very structured curriculum to be able to help bring our students up to grade level.
Awesome. Well, good luck with the pitch, and here we go.
Okay. I even have my timer because I know I have 3 minutes and I want to make sure I'm adhering to that. So at Reading Partners, we are focused really on individualization of our students. And so we know currently only 25% of students in low income schools are reading at grade level by the time they leave 4th grade. So for us, that is a huge issue, and we want to be able to do everything we can to solve that. So our mission, and I'm going to kind of break down the mission a little bit, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about how we are reacting to the COVID-19 situation. So our mission is to help children become lifelong readers by empowering communities to provide individualized instruction with measurable results. So I have been the executive director at Reading Partners for 6 years now, and I finally have that memorized. It took me, probably all of 6 years to be able to do that. And so the mission really is a couple of different pieces. We empower communities. So we actually work with volunteers anywhere from the ages of 14 to 85 that can come in normal times, come in and work with students one-on-one in an individualized setting to help them with their reading. So last year in Los Angeles, we had about 1,500 volunteers that worked throughout 3 different school districts and 14 schools that we worked with last year. Second part of our mission is the individualized instruction. So as I mentioned, we have a curriculum that is research-based. It is Common Core aligned, and it's basically really trying to align with what students are learning in the classroom. We have 168 lessons. So no matter the age of the student or their reading level, we can get them sort of working exactly where they need to be working in. So that's really the main focus, is getting students on focus, on par with their peers and being able to hit grade level by the end of 3rd grade is really our focus, although we will work with some older students if they're struggling as well. And the last part of the mission is measurable results. So we have seen typically 90% of our students will hit the primary literacy growth goals that we set for them by the end of the year. So we want to make sure that our students are really focusing, that they're getting to where they need to be. Currently, in the COVID-19 situation, we're working really, really closely with our school partners, because we know that likely a lot of the work that we'll be doing with students is remote. So over the summer, we have pivoted to an entirely remote curriculum, and we'll be able to provide the same work with our students as we would in the classroom, but likely remotely. So that is a little bit of a different undertaking for us as a 21-year-old organization. We are really wanting to make sure that we are providing our students with the same impacts and outcomes. So that's been our focus for the summer, and the goal for the fall is that we will work with students in the same way that we can to get them reading on grade level as soon as possible. So again, vote for us. Thank you so much, LA2050 and the Goldhirsch Foundation. This has been a great opportunity.
Thank you so much, Laura. That was awesome. And again, thank you for all the incredible work that your organization does. When you were talking about the organization, all I could remember was how Reading Rainbow was one of my favorite shows as a kid, and how I loved reading. So thank you so much for everything that you guys do. So now I think we are at the point where we're going to bring everyone back for some Q&A. So we're going to welcome back all the organizations after your incredible pitches. I think we have everyone. So first, guys, congrats. That was awesome. Everyone did an amazing job. And so now we're just going to quickly pivot to some questions from the audience. And I think the first question is for Roberto. You know, in terms of your organization, Roberto, why is it so critical to empower immigrant parents and students to understand the education system and advocate for change?
Well, in this case, it's really important because it breaks the cycle of poverty. A lot of times, access is determined by language, and a lot of parents are unable to really be champions for their kids if they're unable to navigate that system. So it's really, really critical and important to share like the ins and outs of how the school system works, and to also have the backing of their kids, especially when they're in situations where, let's face it, in Black and brown communities, they tend to be stigmatized, they have lower graduation rates, and it's usually because of those social barriers and language barriers. So to have parents and youth have the same set of tools to be able to navigate the school system is very, very, very important, especially in the Pico Union Westlake area where we're located.
Great, thank you so much for that. The second question is kind of open, but I would love to, maybe we'll start with Stacy. In terms of kind of what's going on with the pandemic, and I know you kind of briefly explained this in your pitch, how is your organization pivoting or adapting during this? And what do you think is kind of critical in terms of next steps for how you guys are dealing with this? Because given that, given the current state, it feels like the pandemic is going to unfortunately continue for we don't know how long. So.
So we had a very steep learning curve this spring when we had to adjust and go online for what's normally a hands-on, in-person outdoor activity. And so we quickly learned about the equity gaps in technology, and we're working on the number of platforms and different places where students can gather information, how we can connect with teachers so that teachers can transmit information, or how we can possibly Zoom into classes. So we did 8 consecutive weeks in the spring of a Zoom session science illustration workshop with grade 4. And so everyone's kind of all learning together and how to adjust. And again, I think that nature connection, that like getting away from the screens, even if it's 30 minutes to an hour a day, going for a walk, finding a way to connect with the green space that might be directly out your window is going to be so important for people's mental health, especially in these really challenging times.
Right. No, definitely. And I would love to ask you, Laura, the same question. How is your organization kind of adapting or pivoting during the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, so I think Stacy kind of hit the nail on the head. The biggest challenge at this point is technology and access to technology, particularly in the communities that we work with. We've been fortunate that a lot of our school districts have been able to provide physical technology, so tablets or whatever, but it's also just access to technology that's been challenging, as well as we've really tried to make sure that we're communicating with families so that they know when their student is supposed to be having a tutoring session. Oftentimes what we're seeing is that there's multiple children that are sort of fighting over the same internet space or same device. So trying to kind of figure out the best way to do that. And then I think, again, to Stacy's point, I think so much of our program was very hands-on, very one-on-one, working directly with students, particularly with our youngest students, so kindergartners and first graders. I mean, we know that just overall their challenge adapting virtually has been a challenge. And so we're trying to figure out the best way that we can still engage them with some of the more tactile pieces that we've been able to kind of keep them engaged in our traditional program.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And the next question is for Terry. What are some of the biggest barriers faced by families of children with disabilities and delays in accessing resources?
I think some of the issues is knowing where to turn and how to access the resources that exist in the communities. There's definitely transportation, there's language. There are a lot of resources, but I think it is really navigating that. We had received a grant from the State Department of Developmental Services, especially in communities that are disadvantaged. Again, some of those barriers, again, who are these people? Are services free? How do I navigate it? How do I connect with them? How do I get services? If it's 0 to 3, it's frequently something called regional centers. If it's 3 to olders, it's school district. There's health insurance. So there's a whole variety of things to access. And I just actually want to, on the COVID one, I just want to quickly say that if you go to YouTube under Pediatric Therapy Network, we've produced over 45 videos open to any families in the world on therapy services. And we had a PT that saw our YouTube video and was using it for telehealth in Germany. So again, there's a lot of accesses that are really available for a lot of families around the world.
That's great. And so what I'm hearing is that in terms of PTN meeting developmental needs of kids during COVID, you're really using the power of the internet, and it seems like I think that's kind of the general kind of thought process with everyone adapting, right?
I think of my colleagues, really, I think it was an opportunity because all of us did things that were so in person, people to people in person, and we did have to pivot. There are challenges to the Zoom meetings, the telehealth, but I think that we are really, it's here to stay, we believe, that there will probably be hybrid models. So I think there is a silver lining a little bit with the use of technology, because we can access families that maybe had transportation issues or could not access our programs. For all of my colleagues here today, I think that the technology and what we went through, I think it will be something that will stay, I think, for the future.
Awesome, thank you. And the next question is for Maria from our audience. They said that I appreciate that you're a first-gen student helping other first-gen students. I'm sure you benefit from Project SOAR a lot too. How has this experience helped you as a leader?
Yeah, so something particular is that I actually grew up in the same public housing site that I'm doing the counseling now. So this work really hits close to home. And basically, I do have like smaller siblings, younger siblings. And so it's really funny because like my basically their friends is who now I'm mentoring after I came back from college. So, you know, I'm able to relate with them at a different level where we basically grew up together. I know their moms. So it's a very peculiar relationship. Yeah.
That's awesome. And, you know, I think this has been really great. I feel like everyone has provided an amazing pitch. And, you know, again, just given everything that's been going on in the world, this has been so inspiring to see what you guys do with your organizations. And thank you once again for all the incredible work you're doing. And I'm gonna pass it back to the to who am I passing it back? I'm passing it back to Leanne, sorry.
No, you're great.
All right.
So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Paul, for hosting today. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone that's joined us online. And a special thanks to all of our finalists for sharing about their organizations and their work. We appreciate all that you do every day, and especially the ways that you've adapted in this time of COVID to ensure that our local students are getting the services and the resources that they need. So if you're watching, please head to challenge.la2050.org to vote. You have 1 vote in each of the 5 categories, including today's category, Learn. So thanks for joining us and have a great rest of your day.